Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd, fa bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. All praise and thanks are due to Allah, and peace and blessings be upon His Messenger. Proceeding to the video, we begin with Allah's name, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So peace be upon you, welcome and greetings. We're going to jump to part 3 basically, which is now where we're going to be covering is the tashkil, or also called the a'rab. And those are just the little markings you see on above or below the letters if you were to read the Quran. You see like there's lines and circles and everything around the letters. So now you should be able to recognize the letters, but the markings might not make sense to you. So inshallah, this is what we're going to be covering now. But before we can do that, we're going to have to cover something that I like to call the very initial sound. So before we covered initial form, now we're going to try to cover something called initial sound. And all it really means is if I show you alif, right? This is alif in its original. So initial means like you're about to say the letter and then you get punched in the stomach. So whatever helps you remember it. So if you're about to say alif and you get hit, you're going to sound like and then you might have like some overexploded noise about, being hit, but I won't do that. All I'm going to say is the So basically you're about to say it, then you abruptly stop. So So the initial sound of alif is Now we're going to go to ba. Just try to follow along, inshallah. This might not make sense right now, but it'll make sense throughout the next videos, inshallah. Ba. So if I write it down, ba. Now let's take away the letters and keep it b, b, b. So you're about to say the letter and then you just stop, or you get hit in the gut or whatever helps you remember. B, b, ta. And there's ta. Now what you want to do is take away the sound. You get the initial t, t, t. Remember where we say ta, you put it, if you want to refer to the first video part for the pronunciation guide. So this is t, t, t. So next one is tha. And if we want to pronounce this one, we'll say th, 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 th. So next one, jim. We're going to start with this. So when we take away, we want to get the initial sound. We're going to end up with j, 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 j. Next one, ha. So we're going to have the hyphenated h. And we take away the 2a, the ha part, and we just end up with ha, ha, ha. So that's the initial sound of ha, ha, ha. And then now we're going to go on to kha. And again, this is going to be tafkhim. So we're going to put this here. So this is kha, and when we take away the tafkhim, this is what we end up with. That's the initial of that. And we'll keep going on, inshallah, because this is very fast, bi'idhnillah. Next one, dal. We take away the al, we end up with d, 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 d. Dal, we end up with z, 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 z. Next one, ra. We end up with za. We end up with z, z, z. Sin. This is what we're going to end up with here. Sin. And when you want to say the initial or the initial sound, you say s, s, s. Sheen. Now when you're going to say it in initial, you're going to say sh, sh, sh. Sod is s, 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 s. Actually, this s, if we remember, that'll be that s. Okay, next one, lod, is going to be lo, lo, right? So we had this lod, but now we're going to take away that, and we'll say lo, 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 and leave it at that. Next one is law, and this is tafkhim. So what we're going to end up, we're going to take that part away and just say lo, lo. Remember when we say to, now you're going to just take away the aw. To, to, to. Next one, law. You're going to remember the way I spell it. Take away the a. Law. Take away the aw. Ain. Remember this one. Ain. We take away the ain part. And we're going to be left with the and that's where we stop right there, because that's where the we start saying the ain part, ain, and we want to take that away, so we're just taking initial sound right now. So next to ghain is this one. So now we're going to take away the initials, or we're going to keep the initial sound. So we say fa. This one's pretty simple. You take away the a, you end up with qaf. You're going to end up with, you have this tafkhim. Now we're going to take that part away. We're going to end up with qa. So we're going to say qaf, and we end up with now we're going to say kaf, and we're going to end up with. Point of note, if you put your hand in front of your mouth and you feel air coming out when you say the initial sound of kaf, you're probably saying it wrong. You don't want to feel air. So the air should be pushed down into the mouth, not outside from the mouth. Outside of the mouth. Next, lam, you're going to end up with l. Mim, you're going to end up with lips touch, Noon, you're gonna end up with ha, you're gonna end up with basically h. So you're gonna say ha, and you cut it short. H. And wow, you're gonna end up with w. So you're gonna say wow, and you cut it short. And then ya, you're gonna end up with y. So you're going to say yeah, and you cut it short. And basically this is called initial sounds, and you'll see why we did this in the next video parts, inshallah. So please just try to remember them. If you forget, please watch the video again, and inshallah continue the next videos to see what the whole point of this was. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.